everyone. Okay, please settle down. Today I'm going to be a teacher. Okay, I just did my pre-lesson for micro-teaching video, and I stood around like 13 minutes, and I only got like 2 to 3 perfect, not so perfect videos, but it's okay because I kind of like want to practice my speaking, because now we have online classes and we can just re-record, and then we can just edit the parts where we don't want it. We just cut and then move to like trim the videos and so on. But for real life presentation, it won't be like that. And so this is what worries me a lot, because if I don't practice my speaking skills or presentation skills, I tend to stutter, and then my English is everywhere. And also I like to create sentences that are pretty hard to comprehend. For example, I just want to say, okay, what are we going to learn for today? That is what I intended to say, but I will like bengkok-bengkokkan ayat, and I will say it like, okay, what do you think that we are going to learn about for today? So it's like, if you compare these two, okay, what are we going to learn for today? This is much easier to understand. Okay. Kalau I cakap, what do you think that we are going to learn about for today? It is much longer, more complex, and the students won't even understand me. So I have to make sure that my choice of words are very accurate, precise, and concise. So to become a teacher, okay, what I have learned during 2 to 3 years of study, diploma lah kan. Okay, first you have to be so confident. I mean, like, you have to know what you want to do for that day. Okay, so that is why we always have that lesson plan. So every day we will have our lesson plan, pre-lesson, lesson development, and also post-lesson. So dia macam ni, everything that we do, there will be introduction, the content, and the conclusion. So introduction is when the teacher greets the students. So the teacher has to appear very friendly and very energetic. When you want to enter your class, you have to be more energetic, because if you don't feel energetic, how are you going to give motivation to your students, right? Okay, so the moment I step into the class, we make sure that you have your name tag, your get ready with your appearance, physical appearances. Okay, then you have to stand in front of the class and then make sure your voice projection. Okay, then you greet the student. Okay. Good morning, class. Good morning, teacher. Okay, that's all. Okay, then before you start, you have to make sure the classroom management is okay. Let's say the classroom was in a mess. Okay, so you have to ask them to sweep the floor a little bit lah, kan? Okay, and then for me, I don't want them to put any books that are not related to my class. Okay, let's say they were doing their homework, mathematics homework. Even I, as a student, I find it very very hard to study when my surrounding is very messy. So I will ask them to, okay, put away all your books into your bags now, except English books, because I'm teaching English. So this is now English class, so only take out your English books only. I don't want to see any non-related books on the tables. So that is my second thing to do. Okay, thirdly, okay, before we start a lesson, we must be aware that they are changing from another class to another class. So the introduction is the part where you have to grab their attention, grab their interest. For example, okay, today I did micro-teaching on literature, so I am going to talk about literature. Okay, a short story. Okay, this short story involves tradition. So I talked about okay, class, I want to ask you a question. Okay, what did we celebrate last November? So this will bring up their like intriguing question. Okay, this is like an intriguing question for them to think about it. Okay, what did we have? What did we have last November? Oh, we had our holiday. So which holiday? No, that is for Deepavali festival. Okay, so this will kind of like wake them up and then let them like be aware that you are there and like questioning them. And then they will think about, okay, the teacher wants to talk about Deepavali festival, isn't she? Okay. Now let's talk about the Deepavali tradition. Okay, so only like 2 to 3 minutes about introduction, and then I kind of relate the introduction to what I'm going to teach. So I'm going to teach about Tanjung Ru. So Tanjung Ru, it's about Chinese tradition. It involves Chinese tradition. That is tea time and how they pray, modern versus traditional way of praying, And then I kind of relate the tradition, okay? Deepavali tradition, Deepavali festival tradition, and then we have Chinese tradition. Okay, when I mention Chinese tradition, okay, I will bring them back to the main core of the lesson, okay? So this is it, class. I mentioned Chinese tradition. So, can you guess what we are going to learn for today? And of course, they will like, okay, we are going to learn about short story, Tanjung Ru. Okay, Tanjung Ru. Why? Because Tanjung Ru has some of the Chinese traditions in it. Okay, the tea time, the Chinese prayers, how does the Buddhist pray and so on. So this will bring them back to the main core. Okay, so that is the first part for your pre-lesson or teacher's set induction. So you want to grab their attention and interest, okay? And then here we are, the major part, because it involves like around 50% or 60% of your classroom management. So you have that 10 to 15 minutes of teacher input and also classroom activities, group activities, whatever you are going to do for that day. Okay, so now I have this Tanjung Ru. Okay, first I give them my teacher input. That is, okay, I will teach them, okay, what are the important events in the story. Okay, but first let us define what is an important event. So I'll just do it like this. So there's like a map, important event, and then I will give them information. Okay, an important event is an event or a story, a scene, a situation in the story that gives impacts to the characters, okay, that affects the characters. Okay. For example, the death of Ahmad. So when Ahmad passed away, Mr. Lee was so confused. He was so sad that he kind of lost his will to live. Right? Okay. So this gives impact to the character, that is Mr. Lee. So that is an important event. Okay. Next we have affects our emotion and feelings. Okay. It doesn't only affect the characters, it also affects us as readers. So when we are reading the story, what do we feel towards the end of the story? Okay. We will feel sad, because this is a story about a mother and her son. So the mother likes to remembers all about her marriage, her family when the little boy was still younger. But how about the son? The son does not see that. So the son only sees what he wants to see. So he doesn't like to mengenang masa lalu, dia tak suka. So the son decides to just brush it off and just let the mother with her imagination. But towards the end, okay, the readers will feel sad because Mr. Lee already lost his mother. So it is like you can't even turn back time. You can't even turn back time when you were much younger, when you were, much appreciated. You feel much appreciated. So that is how the readers will feel. We will feel sad, nostalgic, because the mother is already gone but the sun is still there and still remembers her. Okay, so this is how I will give my teacher input. Okay, the next session, okay, during the lesson development, okay, I will ask students to find the themes and important events. So I will group them into let's say 4 groups times 5 members in one group. So 4 times 5, let's say that's like 20 students in my class. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, one group, one theme, and then you have to find important events and support your evidences from the story. Okay, so one theme, two evidences like that. Okay, then one theme, two evidences, one theme, two evidences. So this is how I will prepare and manage my classroom management. So this is where the middle part is the magic part, where you have to first you have to give your teacher input. Secondly, you have to brainstorm them some ideas for them to do the activities, you know. And then thirdly, you have to assist them. Teacher acts as a facilitator. Okay, so the teacher has to make sure that each one of your students, they know what to do next and they know what is going on. Okay, and then they have to make sure that the task is like distributed, is delegated accordingly, so everyone has their own job. Okay, someone writes the answer on the mahjong paper, someone gives ideas, someone reads the info from the book, someone asks the teacher, and so on. So it is something like that. Okay, this is quite tiring, but then to become a teacher, this is what I really love to do, because this is what I really enjoyed during my 11 years of schooling. Though it has its ups and downs, but what I really enjoyed is that first, my teacher's motivation to always teach us, no matter we are come from T20, B40 ke M40 ke, they always teach us. But there are some teachers lah, yang macam very choosy, because this is T20 and then he's the first in the class, in the whole batch, you know. So that's normal, that happens. We do have biasness in ourselves sometimes, yeah. And secondly, I really like, like teaching like this. It is like you're giving some information, you are interacting with humans, and then humans, these children give you information. We are also sharing stories, information, exchange infos, because teachers also do learn from their children, learn from the students, and students also learn from the teachers. Okay, yeah, that's all for now. My sharing how I did my micro teaching, and hope it does help. Okay, it does give you a little exposure on what teachers are supposed to do, and don't just say that teachers are the most, makan gaji buta, because we do our jobs, but there are some teachers who don't do, and it does affect the whole, the whole sector. Okay, all the best for those who are going to this field of studies. Always keep that motivation in yourself, and always think that you do this because of God, because of yourself, because of the society. You do this because of you want to change the world. I know that sometimes we don't get that passionate because things are getting harder, and it is not as exciting as before, but this is the only way that we can change our world. Okay, that's enough from me. I've been blabbering a lot. Okay, then welcome back to my channel. Bye. Wait, I have this.